Idaho woman is assaulted and dragged from a town hall meeting. Here it is.
And look at this little girl is afraid to leave. She spoke up, and now she doesn't want to suffer the consequences. Isn't that the problem? That we're struggling with so many of the kids today.
Let's go. This man is assaulting me. Is this your deputy? Is this your deputy? No, don't touch us. Is he a deputy? These are deputies. Who the are these men?
So how about that? We know that government has been mismanaging money for decades, and we want us to do what's there now.
Who are these guys? Show your badge. Don't touch her. Who the
Just cooperate, it'll be 100 times better.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Cowards. Put them up, full mask. Idaho. This was a woman who says her right to free speech was violently stripped away when she was forcibly removed by 3 unidentified men at a town hall led by a local Republican committee who described the woman as disruptive. Let's go to the Kootenai County Republican Central Committee identified Teresa Borrenpohl as a woman who was on video being dragged out of the committee's town hall Saturday. In a Facebook post, the committee said, Borrenpohl shouted down legislators with insults and disrupted the town hall several times before being asked to leave. A woman, now identified as Borrenpohl, shouted, "Is this a town hall or a lecture?" multiple times in the response. Oh my gosh. Those gentlemen must have been scared for their lives. She shouted, "Is this a town hall or a lecture?" They couldn't deal with that. They didn't understand how to deal with that. Put it up. The video showed a man with the sheriff's hat tell the woman to leave or be arrested. The man identified himself as the county sheriff, Robert Norris. Quote, "We're asking you to leave on video. Please get up or be escorted out," Norris said in the video. Ms. Borrenpohl refused to leave, and Norris pulled at her arm multiple times in an attempt to remove her. He then instructs men wearing black clothing to remove her. Let's go to the chairman of the committee. His name is Brent Reagan. Brent said that the lady was removed by, quote, licensed and bonded professional security. What? Licensed and bonded professional security. After interrupting the town hall at least 7 times, so they were counting, he accused her of having a history of disrupting meetings. All of the town hall attendees were told that they would be removed if they did not, quote, respect the rights of others. He said, quote, "None of this would have happened if Borrenpohl had been respectful of others." Let's go back to his picture. "Sir, I usually don't do this. You have the audacity to talk about respect with a hairline like that. Sir, your hairline is offending me." Okay? I could help myself. "None of this would have happened," he says, "if Borrenpohl had been respectful of others. Her failure to follow the simple rules of decorum caused an 18-minute delay in the meeting and reduced the number of questions the legislators had time to ask." He got a whole lecture, as she was saying. He also alleged that Borrenpohl was cited for trespass and battery over an accusation that she bit one of the men who removed her. Police Sergeant Jared Renaud told NBC News that there was never a citation for trespassing at that prosecutor's booth to dismiss the battery citation on Monday. The sergeant also said that the chief of police recommended the city revoke the security company's license following the incident. The security company, Lear Asset Management, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So the sergeant in chief, like, all right, listen, first of all, there ain't no damn citation. There was no trespass. What they did charge you with, we've already dropped. And by the way, that dumbass security company that did that in the first place, we're going to go ahead and take that license while we're at it. Those are real people, human beings. A GoFundMe was started for Borrenpohl's legal defense, raised more than $94,000 as of Tuesday afternoon. She got $100,000 out the deal and bit somebody, allegedly. Idaho Democratic Party Chair Lauren Nicoche, in a statement, accused the event organizers of not allowing dialogue between the legislators and the constituents. Quote, "It is a very sad day when a woman who voices dissent is physically grabbed out of a public venue by unidentified men while the event moderator belittles and taunts her. Idaho deserves better." Black women on TikTok had an interesting reaction to the incident. Here it is.
I've been reading through some of the comments online, and I saw one comment by a Black woman that really resonated with me. This woman was assaulted in front of a room full of white people, and absolutely no one stood up for her. No one stopped it from happening. In fact, most of them were cheering it on. There are no women of color who need to be putting themselves on the front lines right now.
When Trump won, Black people said, let's sit back, let's rest. This is not our lesson to learn, it's their lesson to learn. And I want to say, I don't think they're smart enough to learn the lesson, nor do they care about the lesson. That woman being dragged out of that town hall says everything we need to know about how much they care as of right now. But that woman being dragged out and nobody stepping in to help her is crazy to me. No one stepped in front of her to prevent her from being dragged out by two men she does not know who would not identify themselves. And then there was other women laughing, giggling, clapping. Why is the whole room clapping and this woman is being manhandled by two men? One woman sitting across from her was like, aha, that's a Democrat for you, bitch, what?
The way I see it, the woman who got dragged out of that town hall meeting and no one standing up for her means they're not ready to begin being on that front line of the revolution. They're not ready. They are not mad enough. They might have showed up to the town hall, but they didn't show up to the town hall because they're not going to show up for you because they didn't even show up for her.
There's an awakening happening. People are being shaken out of their slumber. And this is the shaking process. Yasmin, thoughts?
Yeah, in this country, we live under the illusion that we're like civilized people in the sense that we're more civilized than other people around the world. So whenever we see other countries that are less civilized than we are, we say, look at those people. They don't know what they're doing. Look at how uncivilized they are. And we think that we're better than them. But now these things are happening in our country. We're seeing things that we would expect to see in somewhere else. It doesn't matter where, but just not here. But they are happening here, and it's gross and it's ugly, and it does not make us look good. It makes us look very uncivilized, if I do say so. But what was I just saying? You know, we still do technically have free speech in this country, but no one is listening. No one wants to listen. That man just victim blamed that woman, calling her disrespectful. And that's why all this happened to her. And is this technically free speech when someone is suffering physical consequences for exercising the right to free speech in public at a town hall meeting of all places? That is a place where you literally go to voice your opinions directly to your elected officials. I think I said this on the damage report yesterday, that I wouldn't be surprised if Republicans just stop doing these town halls because the optics of them have not been great. They make Republicans, both the leaders and the voters, look terrible. but it's different. They can make themselves look bad on their own. They don't seem to care that they look bad most of the time. They seem proud of their image, especially on social media. But at these meetings, we're seeing people expressing opposition against Republican leaders and policies. We're seeing Republican leaders being laughed at to their faces and booed at and insulted and called names. We're seeing that these Republican leaders are not as popular or as respected as they would like you to think that they are. Of course, that woman was being disrespectful because she does not respect any of those people. But this is bad for the business of their politics and it's bad for their brand. One of the biggest flaws of democracy as we practice it in this country is that it really is little more than a popularity contest. If they can't convince people that they are popular or likable or good leaders or worthy of respect, they have got nothing. And it's pathetic.
Yeah, it truly is. And we see the lack of humanity being shown by those that we will call the perpetrators. And then we see the other layer of humanity that is required for that to happen. And those are the observers. If we stand back and do absolutely nothing, none of us are as decent as we believe. This is a different nation, and it is changing by the moment. We're going to have to be the resistance. Some will fight harder than others, but all of us know what's up. If you watch this show, you know what's going on. So I encourage you to remain full of vigor and full of light. Light is your ability to pass on good, true information to others. Make sure you empower people by the light you give them.